Welcome to your overview video for Chapter 23, Classical Modernism. Our learning objectives are number 1, to name some of the most prominent composers of the first modern generation in the classical tradition, characterize their styles, describe some of their music, and note the ways in which their music reflects national identity and their own individual voices. And number 2, to describe the avant-garde movement in the early 20th century, some characteristic works, and how the avant-garde differs from other trends of the time. Musicians and audiences in the early 1900s expected that most concert music they performed or heard would be at least a generation old, and they judged new music by the standards of the classics. In competing with past composers, living composers sought to secure a place for themselves by offering modern music, sometimes new and distinctive, while continuing the tradition. How to adapt tonality to achieve a unique style, or how to invent a new personal language, became a problem facing every composer. Composers were expected to write music that was true to their national identity and drew on regional traditions, yet spoke to an international audience. The wide range of styles and approaches to composition produced rich variety in music. Claude Debussy, 1862 to 1918, began studying at the Paris Conservatory at the age of 10. He was influenced by works of Russian composers and Wagner, as well as by new artistic movements in Paris. By 1902, he was France's leading modern composer, making his living as a music critic and through an income from his publisher. Debussy's music is often called impressionistic, but it is closer to symbolism. Symbolist traits are evident in Debussy's piano music. He usually maintained a tonal focus, but emphasized the pleasure of sound rather than conventional resolution. Many of Debussy's piano pieces have evocative titles, often suggesting a visual image. He also wrote character pieces, other relatively abstract works, and etudes. His orchestral works require a large ensemble, which he used to offer a variety of tone colors and textures. His best-known orchestral works are Prélude à l'après-midi d'un faune, Prelude to the Afternoon of a Faun, from 1891 to 1894, Nocturnes, from 1897 to 1899, and La Mer, the Sea, from 1903 to 1905. Nuages from Nocturnes exemplifies the interaction of motive with timbre, scale type, and other elements. Debussy composed songs to texts by several major French poets, as well as music for dramatic projects, including ballet and one opera, Pelléas et Mélisande, 1893 to 1902. The changes that Debussy introduced in harmony and orchestration and his emphasis on sound itself made him one of the most influential composers in the history of music. The music of Maurice Ravel, 1875 to 1937, encompasses a variety of influences while carrying a distinctive stamp. Unlike Debussy, Ravel usually treated colorful harmonies and dissonances needing resolution, and he attached major sevenths to tonic and subdominant chords. Ravel also absorbed ideas from older French music, the classical tradition, Viennese waltz, Roma style, blues, and Spanish idioms to create a diverse set of original works. His Rhapsody Espagnole employs a wide variety of timbres and orchestral techniques to evoke a range of moods, spaces, and images. The works of Rachmaninoff and Scriabin illustrate the wide variety of personal styles in this period. Sergei Rachmaninoff, 1873 to 1943, a virtuoso pianist, is best known for his piano music. His music retains elements from the Romantic tradition and combines them with a unique approach to melodies and textures. His Prelude in G minor, from 1903, illustrates his ability to create innovative textures and individual melodies with traditional harmonies and ABA prime form. Alexander Scriabin, 1872 to 1915, began by writing in the manner of Chopin and gradually evolved an innovative harmonic vocabulary in which a complex chord serves as a kind of tonic. His unique harmonic process is illustrated in the tone poem for piano Vers la Flamme, Toward the Flame. In the early 20th century, composers in other countries developed distinctive styles. In Spain, Manuel de Falla, 1876 to 1946, combined specific national elements with the neoclassic approach popular after World War I to produce music that is both nationalist and more broadly modern. The English composer Ralph Vaughan Williams, 1872 to 1958, drew inspiration from folk song, English hymnody, and earlier English composers. Like several modern English composers, he wrote both art music and utilitarian music, using elements from each tradition in the other. The national quality of his music comes from the incorporation of imitation of British folk tunes and his assimilation of the modal harmony of 16th century English composers. Leos Janáček, 1854 to 1928, the leading 20th century Czech composer, created a specifically national style through a distinctive melodic idiom based on peasant speech and song and through procedures more similar to Mussorgsky's or Debussy's than to Germanic tradition. His operas dominated the Czech stage between the world wars and later became part of the international repertoire. In the 1890s, Jan Sibelius, 1865 to 1957, established his reputation as Finland's leading composer through symphonic poems on Finnish topics, and then wrote 7 symphonies and the violin concerto for an international audience. He created a distinctive sound marked by modal melodies, simple rhythms, repetition, ostinatos, pedal points, and strong contrasts. While some composers were developing new sounds within the classical tradition, others challenged the very notion of classics and sought to focus on the present, creating the avant-garde movement. Erik Satie, 1866 to 1925, used his music to upend convention. His early piano pieces challenged romantic notions of expressivity through deliberate plainness, modal harmonies, and puzzling dynamics. Between 1900 and 1915, Satie wrote several sets of piano pieces with surreal titles, parodic music, and satirical commentary printed in the score. Satie's larger works, such as his ballet Parade from 1916 to 1917, question the listener's expectations and fix attention on the present. His anti-sentimental spirit influenced later composers. The Italian futurists favored machines and noise over traditional instruments. Like Satie, they focused on the experience of listening in the present moment and rejected the music and aesthetic of the past. For your 26-point quiz, I would know about the following. Know about Debussy, know about his approach to composition, to modernism, know what symbolism is, know about Debussy's The Isle of Joy, The Island of Joy, know about Debussy's Suite Bergamasque and his Prelude on the Afternoon of a Faun and Nuages. Know about Debussy's Only Opera. Know about Ravel. Know about Ravel's Les Tombeaux de Couperin. Know about Rachmaninoff and Scriabin. Know about their compositional style. Know about Scriabin's Verse La Flame. Know about Manuel de Falla, Ralph Vaughan Williams. Know about Janacek. Know on question 22 there's a typo. It's talking about Janacek, even though it's spelled wrong. Know about Sibelius. Know about Eric Satie. Know about Luigi Russolo and his The Art of Noises. And that should do it. Good luck.